Welcome, everybody. It's always fun to grab a quick cup of coffee, although mine is water this morning, and to hang out with you guys and to just share a little bit of time in regards to, who's doing what and connecting a little bit more. As you guys remember, this platform really was designed for us as allied members to get inside the mind, for lack of a better phrase, get inside the mind of the designer. And to accomplish that, we set up this coffee with an architect to create a platform where it's more engaging from a conversation standpoint. There's really nothing off tone that you can't ask them. We already, Mel, Emanuele, and myself met yesterday, and we had a great conversation. Hey, look, it's really dynamic by nature. There's really no structure to it. We really want it to be questions that are near and dear to all of you guys. I've peppered them with a few questions yesterday, so they know what to expect. So please be very, very nice to them, or they'll never come back to visit us ever again. But having said that, it is my pleasure to welcome you guys to what are we in? The August Coffee with an Architect. We have 2 more left, and before my term is finished, and we're going strong with KME here today. So with that, I'd like to introduce you to Emanuele and Mel, the principals of KME. Gentlemen, if you would care to share a few words and introduce yourself, please.
Sure. Mel, you want to?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Mel Green, one of the principals at KME Architects. I've been here since 1983. I was first recruited to work on the self-fighter program in Tonopah by Holmes and Narber. I started my own office in 1995 called Mel Green Architects. And I have some international experience. I worked in Macau for 3 years for the Mission Hotel on the Cotai Strip. And we started KME Architects in 2009. Yep.
So I'm Emanuel Arguelles, principal here at KME Architects. And as Mel mentioned, we founded KME in 2009. So I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. Born and raised, lived there my whole life, moved out to Las Vegas in 2006. Where I was working with Marnell on the M Resort and a lot of hospitality projects on the Strip. Of course, then the recession came. I was very fortunate to cross paths with Mel here, and Mel brought me on, and we started KME, and we've been chugging along ever since. So here we are 13 years later, and very blessed and very fortunate.
Absolutely. Emanuel is my brother from another mother.
I love that phrase. I love that phrase. And see, this is what I love, because I've known Emanuele for the better part of, I don't know, 2 years, almost 3 years. And I've gotten to know Mel this year. And I just learned something new about both of them today. Like, I never knew, Mel, that you spent time in Macau. Wow, fascinating. Yeah. That place is just on fire. And Emanuele, I didn't know that you actually worked on the M and worked at Marnell. So probably could have seen that if I did my homework and stalked you on LinkedIn. Bad boy. All right. Hey, we've got our first question. And Derek, go ahead, sir, unless you want me to read it off for you.
Oh, that's fine. So as a lighting rep, I'm just asking, as an architect, what's the best way that a lighting rep can be helpful to an architect? And follow up, what is the best way to market to architects during the pandemic and COVID, with most folks not taking meetings right now? I'll mute and let you guys answer.
Okay. With everything that's been going on with COVID, I know everyone's a little bit sensitive with regards to meeting face-to-face, and we've all become very accustomed to meeting on Zoom, which we don't mind, and it's pretty efficient. It works very well. But we have been starting to let people back into the office. Our staff has been here for, I would say about 9 months now. Yeah, we've been back in the office, and so we're getting comfortable working back in the office. I would suggest reaching out to us and maybe initiating a conversation through a Zoom meeting. Personally, I always like to meet face to face. I just think it's real big on building relationships and knowing somebody. There's just a lot more that comes out of a personal conversation as opposed to a Zoom meeting. So feel free to reach out to us, and we'd be happy to meet with you. In terms of what a lighting designer can do to help us in terms of design, that's a great question. And I think in the past we've asked our lighting designers to really help us with you know, some of the selections,
Yeah.
some of the calculations, foot candles, lighting, you know, lighting design, things of that nature, and really kind of fill that gap in between what we would design as architects, what our electrical engineer would design as engineers, and making sure that our, you know, I guess our ideas and our concepts are coming through with the lighting. And I'll let Mel kind of follow up on that.
No, I agree with Emanuel. I think the other thing too is like, you know, meet with us. Let us know what products that you have and how that product would help us in terms of designing, because it's really important for us to understand how the light fixtures work, the photometric. And Derek, I've worked with Mark Foster from your office, and Mark has been very helpful in helping us select different types of lighting fixtures for the different types of functions that we need them for. So that's been very, very good for us in terms of working with your company. And Mark has reached out to our electrical consultants to help them better serve our clients' needs in terms of the light fixtures that we spec as well.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Go ahead, Mark.
I was just saying thank you, Mel,
Oh,
for the kind word.
Yeah, I have to have a disclaimer there too, because Mark and I played in a band, Motown band together. So that's really building a great relationship, Mark.
Yeah, so
There you go.
in front of Mel is, come with an instrument.
so Mel, what haven't you done? Was that a band in Macau as well, or local?
No, actually here. We played at the Rio Hotel. What people fail to realize, Mark is one of the best M&B player here in Vegas.
Yeah.
And our band is called Soul Motion, so you guys got to come and check us out when we play after the COVID situation is better.
Promotion. Carlos, I hope you're taking notes of this, because you're always looking for entertainment on AIA events.
Yeah.
Well, if I may share too, I know Mel is setting up a fundraiser, so I'd love to see Mel live and show his talents.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Hey,
God,
Carlos,
I thought Carlos was going to
Carlos.
chime in and say that he was the lead singer.
Yeah. Hey, Carlos, that's a good segue into our Jedi committee for justice, equality, diversity, and inclusion. So I am the chairman, and we're looking to establish a pipeline in Clark County School District for underprivileged and underrepresented kids to be acquainted with the field of architecture. So we're reaching out to all of the sponsors, to all of the architects to be a part of this program. And if you get a chance, we have some promotional videos on the AIA Facebook website. You get a chance, check those out as well.
We absolutely are not above any shameless, selfless promotion on this Coffee with an Architect. I'm all for it. Go to Facebook and check out the new promotion.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. Any more questions? Okay, Monica, go ahead. Oh, we need to connect Jedi with Tier 1 program folks.
Yeah, I don't have a question, just that we need to connect with CCSD Tier 1 program folks, because we know those people. We could just, connect up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for that, Monica. Any other questions? I'm watching the screen. As always, feel free to just ask or raise a hand. I'm watching the monitor as well. If not, I'm going to dovetail nicely into that comment that Mel just spoke about. He is on the board of directors, and part of his initiative is diversity and inclusion. And so, one of the questions that I asked both Mel and Emanuele yesterday is their organization is known for their diversity. And so everybody has a different definition of diversity. And I wanted to give the opportunity for both Mel and Emanuele to talk about what their definition of diversity is, because it's a very intriguing definition that I think all of us as vendors and suppliers, contractors, owners, whoever it might be in this AECO space could play in nicely. So with that, Mel and Emanuele, you guys like to shed some commentary on that word diversity and your definition?
Sure. You want?
Yeah, for me, growing up in northern Louisiana in the late 50s and early 60s, that wasn't a whole lot of diversity in terms of meeting architects. I grew up working on a farm. I grew up picking cotton. My mom had a 7th grade education. I was on welfare. So it was very intriguing on how I was able to circumvent all of the barriers in order to become an architect. So for me, diversity is equal voice. Having the voice to be able to let someone know culturally, if we're culturally different, how can we be similar at the same time? And it's been a struggle because being a minority architect, sometimes you get excluded because, first of all, people don't think you have the experience, which I think Emanuele and I have shown that we are very competent in what we do. We've worked on some of the largest iconic projects in Las Vegas. The most recent one was the Las Vegas Convention Center. So I think we have a lot as minority architects to bring to the table in terms of our experience and different ways that we look at things. Yeah, and to kind of add to that a little bit in terms of diversity, right? We're all I guess, involved in the cultural diversity that's happening throughout the world and throughout the country, right? So it's kind of breaking those barriers. But one of the things that we really try to instill in our clients and the people that we meet and the relationships that we make, right, is that there is a commonality between all of us, right? And it's, whether it's, something that we find that we have in common, whether it's, the project that we're working on and the common goals of the projects, and then bringing that diversity to these projects. And that's what we try to kind of instill in our clients, is that we understand that at times, we may be overlooked because of our size, maybe because of our diversity, but, we try to bring to them and say, hey, we are a smaller firm, we are a diverse firm, and we can bring some other ideas to your project that may have been overlooked in the past because you kind of get used to just doing the same thing maybe over and over again. And it's those clients that we build those relationships with that realize the value and the experience that we bring to the project that have continued to come back to us. And those are the projects that we enjoy working on and the clients that we enjoy working with, when everybody has an understanding and an appreciation for each other's values and each other and what they bring to the project. And, I'll just say saying that Mel says around the office, right? How do you say, so we're architects that just happen to be minority. Yeah, we're a small business. Just happen to be a minority, but we're very aggressive, and we're also sensitive to the needs of others. And I think empathy is so important in the architecture field, as well as listening to your client's needs and giving them a different solution based on your past experience.
Yeah, and that kind of falls into kind of our mantra here at KME. We practice what we call listening architecture, right? So it's really important for us that we're understanding what not only the client's needs are, but the end user needs are. And I think that comes from a little bit of the diverse background that Mel and I come from, that we really instill that in every process that we do.
And we walk the walk and talk the talk because our office is very diverse. And that's a prerequisite, that we make sure that we have diversity in our office and in the thinking of our intern architects and our staff as well. Yeah. Every voice is equal, unless they talk to the client about money and schedule.
Those are our conversations.
Those conversations can be very diverse.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting, and I know Mike has a question here in just a minute, but before we get to Mike, I wanted to follow up with this diversity, because it is interesting to see, this country was made on small to mid-sized companies, right? They grew into bigger organizations as they grew or acquired other small to mid-sized companies. And so I love the diversification that a small to mid-sized company brings, because they're able to be more agile. But the comment that I'm going, or the direction I'm going with this, is on yesterday's call, and I thought about this as I was flying out of Las Vegas. I said, well, that's really intriguing and very appropriate for this group, is that the diversification is also in the people that you want to associate with, right? So as we come in to look at how we get in front of KME and how do we partner with them and how do we align with them, is diversification as a mindset. And I wanted you guys to elaborate a little bit more on how you expect the mindset to be diverse with the partners and the allied members that want to do business with KME, because I think that's appropriate.
So I think, and I think I'll try to answer the question. I know there was quite a bit there. So one of the things that we look for when we're hiring or bringing in new staff members or new team members is obviously the experience and the knowledge and the things that they bring, but we do look at some of their ideals and kind of where they're coming from. So we know that that's going to be something that's different than what we have already here in the office, and we want kind of that new perspective and that different mindset. So we're very accepting of everyone's ideals, so that when they're coming in, they know that they have a voice and they can participate in these projects. And we try to make it so that everybody feels, there's always this nervous period, I guess, if you will, when new employees are starting or new people are coming to the firm. But we really like to throw them into the fire and say, hey, we brought you here for a reason, and we know that you have some good ideas and some good thoughts, and we want to know what those are. If nothing else, to start a conversation, right? And a lot of the things that we do are based on conversation, and a lot of our design meetings are really more conversations than they are, sketch paper and markers and things of that nature. So we really feel that the conversations that happen in the office is what's bringing us some of the success that we have. And our office at times, more times than not, I'm closing the door in my office because it almost gets too loud in there. And sometimes I'm thinking, what are they doing? Are they actually working in there, or are they designing? But it's all part of the process, and it's kind of what we built and what we want to see happen. So it's pretty unique, and we enjoy it.
As far as our suppliers, we definitely promote diversity in their firms, because the experience that we've had in the past and not being able to get projects, and we've talked to Monica about this and other minority architects, Winston Henderson Architects. So it's very important to us to make sure that we do business with people that are providing diversity in their firms, or in their promotion, their policy, those types of things as well.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Emanuel, I would probably guess that noise you're hearing outside of your office is all the creative juices working.
And that's what I tell myself.
There you go. There you go. Hey, Mike Duran, you have a question, sir. Okay, I will ask the question. It is, KME has continued to be successful through the pandemic. What adjustments, if any, did you make to your marketing and business development?
Boy, so, Mel and I obviously are both architects, right? So I would say marketing is probably not our strong suit. Obviously, it's something that we have to do to stay in business, right? And so we struggled with that in the beginning of the pandemic, just like everybody else. As many other architects, the relationships that we make right now are bringing the projects in, 4, 5, 6 months from now. So when the pandemic first happened, we didn't really feel the ramifications of that until maybe, 5, 6 months later. But it took us a good month, 2 months to really kind of identify what it was that we needed to do. We really tried to utilize some of the web meetings early on and just trying to get in front of people. But what we try to do is really just get back to kind of the old school, right? Phone calls. I mean, how many times are phone calls just kind of overlooked with emails, text, and Facebook messaging? And it's become commonplace in this day and age, where even in our conversations throughout the office, when I'm discussing to some of our staff, hey, have you spoken with so and so? Have you spoken with? And they'll reply yes, and I have to ask the question again: did you verbally speak with them, or was it an email and text? And you come to find out that 90% of the time it was through email and text. So just kind of going back to the old technology, right? Picking up the phone, dialing 10 numbers, and speaking to somebody. And we felt that really was helpful, and that's kind of what we've been continuing to do.
And then also, back in 2009, when we had the economic downturn, we were very fortunate to have some public works projects to keep us going. And one of the things that we realized is that we needed to be frugal in our efforts and in our, how can I say?
And our time
And
management.
the fact that we were able to put away savings that would prolong the impact of, say, the COVID. So that helped us a lot, and we had the convention center project ongoing. We had the project we were working on for the housing authority, which was a long-term project. And so that kind of filled in the gap. So now we're starting to see more movement in public work projects. And so it's like we filled that gap in between. And so now we're starting to see the progress of our business development and our relationships with a lot of our clients.
I love that old school comment about picking up the phone. Being in sales myself, I can't tell you how many times that's probably been more of a fail than something that could have been positive if I just did more of that. We've gotten so used to texting and email and whatnot that the old fashioned hearing that from the clients say, hey, pick up the phone actually speaks volume. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Monica, yes, ma'am, you have a question.
I do have a question, but I agree. Sometimes you have to pick up the phone. Text only take you so far with that misunderstanding. So you did mention the diversity in your firm, which I think is important, but I'm wondering, aside from admin, how many women do you have working in your firm?
So we have three?
Yeah.
Three.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Who are in the design side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a total of 4, including an admin.
Yeah.
And we're a staff of 9. So we're pretty equal.
Yeah. I didn't.
Yeah.
I never even realized that. Yeah.
Yeah, we are. And we have a diverse background, diverse nationalities as well.
Yeah.
Very diverse.
Thanks.
And that's always been our goal, to make sure that we want our firm to look like our community.
It's a good goal.
It's a great goal. Thank you. Any other questions?
Good morning. This is Mike, and I'm not on mute this time. So, morning, guys.
Hey, Mike.
Hey. In addition to the diversity in the firm, could you guys also speak to the diversity of your projects? Because you have some fantastic projects, and you're not cranking out the same stuff every time. You've got a pretty diverse portfolio there.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Yeah, you're right, and that's something that, and thanks for reminding us, because sometimes we don't really press that to our clients, which we should, right? We feel that we're really good at tackling new challenges and using our process. I think we've developed a really good process that we're comfortable with that can really be applied to many different types of projects. And sometimes it's a curse and a blessing, right? We're blessed with being able to be challenged every day and work on new things and really be creative. On the other hand, sometimes it feels as if, you kind of get stuck in the weeds a little bit, and, you haven't done that type of project before, so it's not just moving through the process as quickly as you would like it. But it really does keep things exciting, and it's one of the things that we really kind of learned in the recession back in 2008, 9, and 10, and on is, at that time, Mel and I were both, working a lot of hospitality projects, and, we've seen that, that market really kind of take a hard hit, and we've been making a conscious effort since we started KME to really be diverse in the markets that we're going after, as well as the projects, so that when things were to happen, again, like COVID last year, obviously there were some projects that got put on hold and canceled, and so we did, like everyone else, take a little bit of a hit on that. But we had other projects, like Mel mentioned, the public works project, that were a little bit more stable and able to kind of carry us through that. So yeah, we're really proud of the diverse project that we worked on, and And we really enjoy that, and our staff enjoys that too, because every day they're coming into work and it's something new and it's something different. And when they get to the end of the project, they know that they're not just repeating the exact same thing all over again. It's something new. So.
Yeah, Mike, we're very progressive in terms of technology. We have all of the latest technologies. We also have a laser scanning division. We can do as-building, and then we're persistent, and we don't take no for an answer. We're always out there at networking functions, meeting people, and then we also do good work. I mean, and I think that's the key to it. We have the experience, we do good work, and why not use it? And also, we are the face of our company. Sometimes when you have a medium-sized to a large company, the principals are not as active as we are with a smaller company. So the face of our company is actually Emanuel and myself in terms of talking to our clients.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
All right, thank you.
Beautiful faces of the company. Any, you guys are kind of shy, you know that, right? Any other questions? Yeah, Mark, yes, sir.
Hey guys,
Hey,
Mel and Emanuel. Hey, I've known you guys for years. I don't think we've really worked together in the past, and that's a shame. But I want to make sure we do that someday soon. I have a lot of respect for you guys, and thanks for being a part of this series with Lee. But I do have a question, and that is, obviously, seems like things are turning for the better, and projects are being funded for a lot of people. And I know you guys have been a part of some really cool, iconic projects. What's your outlook for the next, say, 2 years? In this pandemic, I thought it was a recovery, but it's really not a recovery. But what's your outlook, and are you looking to hire, with hopeful projects, hitting your coming into your office?
Yeah, so I would say we're cautiously optimistic with what's going to be happening. Right, I'm the cautious one, Mel's the optimistic one, so we make a good mix. But we've been pleasantly surprised with how things have kind of progressed in the last year and a half. Right, when COVID first hit, it was very worrisome, and as we've seen it kind of progress, and here we are, a year and a half later, and I think we're going to be dealing with it for a much longer time. So we have to learn how to kind of navigate those waters. But we're optimistic in terms of design and construction. We see it just kind of really moving forward for the near future at least. And then in terms of hiring, yeah, we're a small firm, and we're very effective and efficient with the staff that we have. But we're always looking for good talent, and talent that we think will fit into our mentality and into how we progress through a project. In one case, earlier in the year, we had an opportunity to bring somebody on, which we had an opportunity for some projects that we're still waiting to get the go on, but we thought, we didn't want to lose the opportunity of missing out on this particular person. So we brought them in, and when you find good people, the work just seems to kind of follow. And we have not yet gotten the project that we're working on or that we're waiting for, but she's been a great addition to our firm, and so we're always actively looking and just trying to find that right fit.
So we're hoping in 2022 and 2023 that these projects that we have already negotiated would start to come to fruition. And then we do have a couple of developers that we're working with. They're looking to bring projects to Las Vegas as well. So we're registered in 10 states, and we have satellite offices in Dallas, Fort Worth, Atlanta, and so we're looking to expand also to Florida. So we have a couple of projects that we're doing out there as well. So we're not just concentrated on Las Vegas. We're looking to broaden our reach a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, we have our core has our headquarters in Frisco, Dallas area. So yeah, if we can be of service to you guys, whether here or Texas or elsewhere, let us know. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Always appreciate your questions. Hey, also, Mel, when you brought up the other, stretch in regards to where KME is going, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys are also in Guam, correct?
Yes. we do a lot of business development, so we try to anticipate a lot of the different development areas. So Guam was one of them because at that time they were looking to move the base from
The
Okinawa
military contract, yeah.
to Guam, and so we're always out there looking for ways to get our name out there and work on different projects. Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, we are at the top of the hour, and I want to make sure that I don't see any additional questions. Is there? How did you expand it to other cities? Oh, okay. Keith, go ahead and ask your question, and then we'll end with that one.
Hold on, just have to unmute.
Go ahead.
How did you expand out to, other cities? I mean, that's not an easy thing to do, and you seem to have done it quite successfully.
One of the things that we've done is we've done a lot of networking at conventions like NOMA. We met some architects there, and so what we do is we are very aggressive in looking at projects in the area and teaming up with architects that are local. So that's how that works, and it's been working very well for us. We're actually working with Moody Nolan right now on the project here in Vegas, and then working with them in Dallas as well.
I got to tell you, you got some good stuff coming out of Sonoma, because the only thing I remember were fuzzy stuff coming out of Sonoma. But anyways, with that, I want to go ahead and ask if there's any final thoughts from either Mel or Emanuel or both in regards to this audience here.
One of the things that we want to be is a role model for a lot of the other smaller firms here in Vegas, and also to the architectural minority students, that if you have a great work ethic and you are determined, you will be able to be very successful. And always, if you have to or can, reach out to us. We're very personal people. If you have a question on how we did what we did, hey, we don't have a problem with answering those questions and spending some time with you.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
that's an open invitation. Okay, well, with that, I want to thank you both very, very much for taking time out of your very busy schedules today to give us just a little bit of thoughts of what made KME successful, what is Emanuel and Mel passionate about, and how can we as the allied members and everybody else that's on this, whether you're an allied member or not, audience, how can we interact, engage, and align with your vision. And so thank you for your time. I wish everybody safety and blessings, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Okay, thanks.